I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have returned. Now, let's talk a little Star Wars, shall we? Let's go into a little Star Wars. I was not born when Star Wars really picked up, but I was introduced with Star Wars through the prequels, believe it or not. Most people tend to go original, then go with prequel. I'm not really sure. But I started with the prequel, then went to the original, and that was it. After that, I was just in this void of not knowing what to watch exactly, because I was just being introduced into nerddom. Moving on past this, I ended up catching sight of an amazing show. Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I talk about it all the time. I say it's one of the best shows that ever existed. Except for the final season, there are like 2 episodes that's in there that's dealing with those sisters. I don't know what that's about, but whatever. It can exist for all I care. But I was not introduced into the first Battlefront games. I know, I'm filthy peasant. How dare I? Moving past that, I did play Star Wars Force Unleashed 1 and 2 with Starkiller. Now, it appears at current moment that Dave Filoni and all the others surrounding him who appreciate the greatness of Star Wars, who understand Star Wars, who love Star Wars, who want to see it flourish and prosper, who want to see it grow from its tough, harsh winter. This flower has yet to bloom, but is sprouting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look closely at the Ahsoka symbol, I can't pull none of this up because I ain't got none of that PC hardware, but if you look closely at the Ahsoka symbol, you see that it had something from Rebels. I enjoyed Rebels, and Rebels, in my humble opinion, is about to save Star Wars. It really is, because Ahsoka knows something. She knows something very interesting. I'm not going to say much, so if you never watch Rebels, I recommend you watch all of Rebels. I recommend you watch Clone Wars, prequels, originals, Rebels. No. Clone Wars, prequels, Rebels, original. Watch them in that order and you'll get the entire thing. You get to have the full digestion. You'll understand. You'll get to see the character development through and through. Don't watch the sequel trilogy. It'll give you ligma. It'll hurt you. It'll burn your eyes. It'll hurt you badly. You'll be like, oh my god, this pain. Yeah, it hurts. Now, it appears that the Ahsoka show is giving an opportunity to make the sequel trilogy not canon. Now, to those who are excited, such as me, I will not lie to you, I watched the first sequel movie and thought it was amazing at first. Because I haven't had Star Wars in so long, I was Star Wars deprived. I was thirsty for more and I craved it with every passing moment. I didn't even realize what I was giving was a false hope, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take The Mandalorian, for example. The Mandalorian, most people tend to not... People like The Mandalorian when it's by itself, but some point out that with the sequel trilogy having hold the place that it holds, no matter what happens in Mandalorian, the sequel trilogy will reign supreme. It still ends with Rey Palpatine claiming the name of Rey Skywalker and taking all the Skywalker ownerships and whatnot. I believe the Ahsoka show will take us into what we saw there and will erase the sequel trilogy and will recanonize a lot of things. I believe, right? I don't even believe that they have to go through them. I believe they can show that the sequel trilogy goes through in another dimension, universe, or whatever they want to put into it. It's happening somewhere else. It is not the official canon. It is not in our time. It is not in our dimension. It is not our universe. It isn't with us. It is not with us. It has its own thing, and we have our own thing. The sequel trilogy, no, I will have to give it a true name. Kathleen Kennedy's sequel trilogy will remain, and we'll say Dave Filoni's sequel trilogy will remain. 2 sequel trilogies, people can remain happy with that. The sequel trilogy can remain over there, while ours will still reign supreme in our heart, mind, body, and soul. You know, just something a little sprinkle up in there. I cannot wait for this. I'm honestly hoping that they do. I hope they do this. I really do, because the sequel trilogy, wow. When Disney took hold of the sequel trilogy, a lot of their complaints was, well, we had nothing to work with. There was nothing to really take grasp of. When you have to understand, there was literal video games that had a perfect good story, along with comic books that could have been easily made the sequel trilogy. Easily. But instead, they decided to completely decanonizing it, giving them a false narrative saying that we had nothing to work with. Even though you did claim it was Legends and it's no longer canon, you still could have taken something from there and used it. And the common excuse they have used for pulling something out of nowhere, saying, well, it was in the Legends. You've made Legends not canon, so the character cannot use that ability. Such as, I believe, Force Healing. They said Force Healing was in Legends. You decanonize Legends. You cannot, by your own rule, use Force Healing. Now, you could, of course, say, well, who's to say the power was locked away there? If the power was in Legends, it originated in Legends, then it cannot be used. Period. Moving past this. There's a gaping hole within the Star Wars community, and the Mandalorian stands at the front and center. He grasps hold of the new, and Baby Yoda grasps hold of the old. Ahsoka brings forth both of these hopes and can turn them into something great. Turn them into the great sequel trilogy that the Star Wars community has been hoping and craving for. Now, to your opinion, you may be like, well, I enjoyed the sequel trilogy. I liked it a lot. That may be true for you, but you have to understand there were plenty of hardcore fans who were disappointed with it. You need to understand that The Mandalorian gives multiple teases of different things that happen within each universe. There's a reason for this. It teases these things because it wants you to know that these things do happen across the universe. They acknowledge that these are not canon. These are canon. These are in our universe and they affect our choices. Do not believe that one group is affecting the entire environment of Star Wars. No. There are multiple groups, multiple effects that affect something else. Multiple causes that affect someone else. My apologies. This cannot stand, ladies and gentlemen. I refuse to believe that Disney said nothing is no longer canon. I believe that Dave Filoni, along with all the others who work with him, I apologize if I cannot remember your name, should take hold of this, expand upon it, and really hold true to it. Now, there was Star Wars Rogue Company, I believe, and I cannot wait for that. It appears that a lot of people who enjoy Star Wars, a lot of people have been moving away from the heroes with powers, the people who always come to save the day. People will look at it and they'll be like, okay, that person is going to save the day. No. People now have had a craving, not at Marvel, and you can even tell this is a Marvel. People have now taken a craving to regular people making regular people choices, the tough choices, ladies and gentlemen, that either gets them what they need and or want, it can affect them in a positive way or a negative way. And I love this. Let's take The Mandalorian had its recent episode. If you played Star Wars Battlefront 2, the gameplay I'm having behind me, if you played the campaign, they mention what happens in that game in The Mandalorian, making that game canon. Star Wars Squadron had Hera, my apologies, an origin character based off of the timing. She was not in the main films, let that be. But Hera, who was in Rebels, she was in Squadrons, and I was going nuts when I saw that. It proves that yes, she does do more after the Empire's beaten. They took Rex into the Empire, I mean not Empire but Rebels, and it shows that he's just not going to sit there and be docile, him and the other clones who are with him. And I love this. You have to understand, this universe is not just something you can just decanonize things from. Something that angered me about the Secret Trilogy, by the way, was the fact that they named their base Starkiller. If you have ever played Star Wars Force Unleashed 1 and 2, I felt insulted at the mere fact that you decanonized such an amazing character. Let me give you a taste of Star Wars Force Unleashed. Starkiller was a young boy taken in by Darth Vader, trained to be his Sith apprentice and to show great promise of being powerful. But when Palpatine realized that he grew stronger than his right hand, when he grew stronger, when he had an opportunity, something that he felt as if his reign would be threatened because someone stronger than Darth Vader, his guard, his most faithful, was gaining more power than him, something must be done, and got rid of him. That is all I would tell you for that campaign. If you have never played Force Unleashed, I urge you, I tell you now, please go play that game. That story is far better. The Force Unleashed story is far better than the sequel trilogies. EA Star Wars Battlefront 2's campaign is far better than the sequel trilogy, Disney sequel trilogy. It is far supremely better because it gives way to actual characters, people who you see who are heroes, people who you will see are villains. It shows the impact of the Empire's defeat and the impact of the Rebels' victory. Ladies and gentlemen, this is no game, this is no joke. I tell you, Star Wars is in a rise. I felt it in the Force. May the Force be with you. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, have faith in the Force. Let it guide you. Peace.